Yo, my brethren, my brothers. This is B Junior from Endurance Productions Movie Cave channel. Coming to you today, gonna do some movie reviewage for you. I know there's a few of you out there in YouTube land that thought I was never ever gonna do movie reviewage anymore. Well, shame on you, because you know I can't stay away from it for too long. What I'm gonna do today, what we did last weekend for Friday the 13th, we went out we watched a few Friday the 13th movies prior to that, but me and some relatives, we went out to a used movie store I frequent here in the local area where I live, and we ended up picking up a few. We just did something different for Friday the 13th. We just went in search of horror movies. So went over there and I picked up a few good finds that I haven't seen in a long time or I've never viewed before. One of which that I haven't seen in over probably 10, 15 years. And the one I'm going to review today is a little piece of horror goodness from the late 1980s instead of the early 1980s. The selection for today is Scarecrows. That's right, I believe from 1988. Scarecrows is kind of interesting, albeit not the best horror movie ever. It's one of those cutthroat borrowing films. It basically borrows from about 4 or 5 different movies. Anything from Evil Dead to The Exorcist to monster movies. I mean, you name it, this movie steals it from, and it doesn't really make any excuses for itself. It just says, hey, we're just a horror movie, and this is all I'm ever going to be. So it's one of those deals where I first viewed Scarecrows. Let's go back to the beginning, my brethren. The beginnings for me in Scarecrows, we used to have a pharmacy chain in North Carolina where I reside called Farmore. They're out of business now, but back in the day they used to have built-in video stores inside the pharmacies, and they were all like $1 a night. Even back then, that was cheap, you know. So Scarecrows was one of those that I first saw in the home video market. I do not think it, if it did get a release out of the theaters, it had to be a very limited release because I don't remember it at all. And I don't know, it's not a real high budget movie, of course. It's a low budget feature. So it's very doubtful that it got anything more than a limited release at the theaters. My first experience was going to Farmore on Dollar Night, and I think it was a weekend that I spent with my father. He let me rent Scarecrows and a few other films like Westworld and sci-fi movies I used to be into. Scarecrows was a good find because it wasn't and has never been a real well-known horror movie amongst horror buffs. Now, you talk to a hardcore horror movie buff, they're going to know the movie right away and know what you're talking about. But albeit it's not talked about that much, which is another reason why I want to talk about it today. It's kind of bad in that good way, kind of a horror movie. It's not a total turd or anything, but it's one of those that you have to laugh at when it's going on. It's just got some hilarious special effects in it. People are just trying to be serious in it, and it's just one of those deals where it's got decent special effects and good monster effects for the Scarecrows themselves. Let's dive right in, guys. I'll tell you a little bit about the story of Scarecrows. The main part of the story centers around an elite team of like ex-military mercenaries who are basically pulled a bank job on a Fort Knox type military base where they store a lot of money. And they've made off with about $3 or $4 million or some kind of ludicrous amount like that, and they're flying away in their getaway airplane while they're holding the pilot and his daughter hostage. I'll give you one guess who's the survivor of the movie, the daughter of the pilot. So she's the little pristine girl, and you know already she's going to be the only one left, and her dog too, oddly enough. Anyway, strangely enough, one of the guys in the team double crosses everybody and throws the money off the airplane and parachutes out. Well, they decide to circle around and go back to where he's at. Unbeknownst to him and the rest of the team they're in later, they land smack dab in the middle of an old cornfield or a farm that basically is inhabited by the scarecrows that have been possessed by the ghosts of 3 farmer types that we're into some kind of demon worship or something like that, or transference of souls worship, or they never really come right out and tell you exactly what it is. It's something a la Evil Dead, kind of basically. So basically they inhabit the bodies of 3 really, really well done, real ugly looking scarecrows. There's one on the cover right there. It's like a screen capture from one of the scenes in the movie. So they, like I said, for all of its faults, it's not a real well-known horror movie, but it's one of those I just had to have in my collection. It's one of those little ones that you just want to pick out of the collection every once in a while and just watch because you want something different to watch. It's a standalone. I don't know if there's any. I don't know of any sequels that are out there for this movie. But as I was saying about the story, basically, like I said, it's pretty straightforward. It's just about they land, they try to find the money and the double-crossing team member. And with that being said, horror ensues. The Scarecrows emerge from the cornfields and start to kind of... One thing I liked, the Scarecrows have the power to mimic, and sort of like the Predator, they kind of mimic the voices of those that they've already killed or something like that, and kind of throw the rest of the team off because they use a lot of these radio-controlled walkie-talkie mics where they trying to communicate with each other while they're searching for each other and stuff. And it kind of offers something a little different in that respect, but it's got good action, good gunplay in it too. They try to shoot the Scarecrows with no avail, and no luck there. The Scarecrows, what they do is they try to utilize body parts, and that's where it kind of borrows from Fulci, like the House by the Cemetery. They borrow body parts in one scene from one of the bad mercenary guys to have a brand new hand on one of the Scarecrows, and they gut them and they stuff them with their own money and all kinds of bad and just wild stuff going on. The dialogue in this movie is friggin' hilarious, guys. I mean, just turn on the subtitles so you don't miss any of the words because you won't. Well, it's so bad it's funny. I mean, they try to be so militant and they try to. It's just bad dialogue, but the movie's good in that bad way anyway. So, Scarecrows, guys, I don't think you'd be sorry if you like a lot of horror movies that have like a Evil Dead feel to them, maybe a touch of Fulci, and kind of the comedy of some of the creature features like critters and stuff kind of thrown in there for good measure. It's got a little bit of everything in it, guys, and as I've said before, the special effects are top notch. I have here the Scarecrows. It's the unrated version, which is its only perk really on DVD. Now, to my knowledge, this is the only time it's ever been released on an optical format. I do not think there's a Laserdisc out there of it. I do know it is on VHS, of course. That's where I saw it the first time. And it has different cover art. I believe the VHS houses its real quote-unquote cover art. This is kind of like a little made-up thing I guess they did for the DVD cover. At first, I didn't think it was the same movie because it's got a tagline on it that I don't remember. It says, "Scarecrows, they only want a brain, ... yours." But anyway, it's just one of those deals where, I don't know, it kind of took me back to my younger years and kind of nostalgic in a way. Won't watch it all the time. Probably this is going to be one that you only really just drag out at Halloween. So don't want to ruin the ending or anything, so I'm just going to stop there as far as the story goes. It's going to be kind of a light review because there's really no special features. This is a totally bare bone edition. However, it does house a theatrical trailer, which was pretty cool. There again, even though it's got a trailer with it, I just don't think this one got a real wide release at the movies. So, but I could be wrong. If I am, leave me a comment. I like to nerd out about movies all the time and learn as much about them as I can. That's about all I can say about it without giving too much away, guys. It's directed by William Wesley. I'm not too familiar with William Wesley's works, if he's went on and done any more horror movies. He probably has. Don't shoot me if he has. Let's go over the features of the disc. It is, of course, a widescreen version, 1:8:5:1 ratio. It's not anamorphic. It has the English Dolby surround sound 2:1 audio on it, a Spanish and French audio track as well. I switched it over to Spanish for a little while just to have some fun. That was pretty fun too. Watching bad dialogue in English is just as funny watching it in Spanish too, so not making fun of anybody's foreign languages or anything, but it's just funny all the same. Closed captioning, of course. I don't know the exact difference between the unrated and the theatrical VHS copy that I used to watch all the time as a kid. The only thing that I did notice, I think there was a little bit, sort of like the Friday the 13th, there's just some elongated kill scenes in the movie. It does sport some good kill scenes. I guess I should talk about that for a second. It's kind of a slow build in the beginning. The whole first act is just kind of getting them where they need to be in this farmhouse, and they use night vision a lot and trying to find each other. But all in all, If you're a horror buff and you like a good Halloween feel to your horror movie, I don't think you'll go wrong by trying to search this one out. You probably have your best bet by catching this one on Netflix. I have been searching for this one for a long, long time without having to pay a lot of money on eBay or something. It might be cheap now. Go ahead and research it. I'm not real sure. I didn't do a whole lot of price researching. I got my used copy here for $5 at a used DVD store. So, and it's the first time I've seen this DVD around. I never saw it in the stores, so it's a little scarce. I don't think it's totally out of print, but it's a little scarce. So, without further delay, guys, get out there, find Scarecrows, enjoy it, watch it, learn it, live it. You won't be sorry. Take care, guys, and I'll see you next time.